25 strangest 911 calls ever made, according to Reddit. Number 25 was a 911 operator for 5 years, had a female call screaming, "He's stabbing me, he's stabbing me." She gets away from her husband, who's going at her over and over with an ice pick. It becomes evident to me that she's moving around the house in an attempt to get away. I'm telling her, can you barricade yourself? Can you get away from him? Can you get out of the house? She told me that she's trying, and that interjects that her husband isn't blind. Now I'm really confused. She's not giving me much information, typical with panicky victims in the heat of the crime, and I'm trying to figure out how she can get away from a blind person. She gets quiet, and I can hear him saying all kinds of nasty things to her. The cops get there, secure the scene, and they fly her to a trauma center. She lived. Still, we were all standing around her, so confused that this woman couldn't escape a blind man from stabbing her. Well, yeah, it's not right to laugh at. I guess that shit just happens, you know? I guess that shit just happens. What the hell? How you not escape a blind man? Number 24. Woman screaming that her drug addict partner had been bitten by her Weimaraner dog. Okay. She was going on about how he loved the dog and the dog was lovely normally, but her partner's finger was bleeding. When the crew get there, they reported back to the control room that the man's arm had been degloved from the elbow down, and the dog turned on him because the man was having sex with it. Just say no, kids. Degloved. Okay. Ew. You having sex with a dog? Oh my God. Number 23. A friend of the family was, and potentially still is, a paramedic with the helicopter service here. I'm not sure if he was on the ground base or in the helicopter, but he enjoyed this story. He was called out to a head trauma incident and arrived to find a man sitting in his living room acting very normal for a call like that. So he asked what was wrong, and the man said, "Well, I've got this here," and turned to show a screwdriver buried to the hilt in his head. So the paramedic obviously said something along the lines of, "That isn't good." And the man said, "Nah, it's all right," and began turning the screwdriver. They told him to stop. I had a professor who exploded a cat with a shotgun in an attempt to get it out of a tree, and another who made his partner pass out by having a girl show him her eyeball that popped out after a car accident. This isn't funny. This is so uncool. These are all anecdotal and may not be true, but these are stories I was told. Okay. Number 22. Unbelievable. Strangest call. Kid who felt experimenty and lost a dildo up his ass. Wasn't anything I could do but transport him to ER and try not to laugh. Most serious call. A milk truck T-boned an Amish buggy going about 60 miles an hour. The buggy was in the wrong. It annihilated the buggy, and I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure the occupants inside did not survive. I remember they got flown to ER with massive trauma, but it was like 2007 to 2009-ish. Been an EMT for over 12 years now, going on 13. I feel old. Pretty sure I'm going to move back to volunteering too. Oh yeah. Number 21. Okay, so my friend is a former 911 operator, and she told me that she got this call from what sounded like an old man. He was telling her that it's been a while and that she should come back over. Like, hey, it's been so long, I miss you. Do you still remember the address? 123 Street, remember? She assumed that he was just senile or something. Turns out he had someone in his house, and he didn't want them to know he was calling 911. Someone like a burglar, because they would hear you. This one confuses me and I can only move on. What the hell? Number 20. Oh God. I used to work as a 911 operator in a relatively large metro area. One night at about 3 a.m. or so, I answered a call from an elderly lady who said she didn't feel good. I tried to get more information about what? A headache, chest pain, trouble breathing, is she diabetic? She gave me her address and phone number and said no one else was home, but the front door was unlocked so they could come in. I toned the call out as general illness and kept trying to get more details. No matter what else I asked about what was wrong, all she would say is, I just don't feel good. Can you send someone to help me? Sounds like a trap. After a few minutes, she said, I'm gonna put the phone down for a minute. I need to go to the bathroom. I tried to get her to stay on the line, told her that she could do whatever she needs to get ready, but I'd like to be able to stay in contact because there's a problem. She said, I'm gonna put the phone down. I'll be just a minute. And that was that. I stayed on the line, asked her every so often, but got no reply. A couple of minutes passed, and then the fire department called on scene, so I just disconnected and didn't think much more of it. I told them the caller advised the front door is unlocked and that she was in the bathroom. A couple more minutes, and one of the firefighters called over the air with a weird tone and said, dispatch, how exactly was this call received? I told them that the call was first party from the patient's home phone approximately 8 minutes ago. He didn't respond over the air, but called the desk from his cell phone, which usually only happens when something weird is going on that they don't want broadcasted since anyone can listen to the radios. On the phone, he said, are you sure this wasn't a third-party call from a family member or something? I said negative. Caller advised I don't feel good and no one else is home, so to the best of my knowledge, the caller is the patient. Have you made contact? He said, yeah. She was in the bathroom, like you said, but she's probably been dead for about 12 hours. Ooh, so spooky. Cold to the touch, fully livid, full rigor. We're gonna need a deputy out here. Afterwards, we pulled the tapes of the radio and phone calls and checked the timestamps, address, phone number, and went over everything a few times to see if I'd missed something. I called them back in the morning after the shift to see if they had any more info, but they were just as weirded out as we were. The phone was still in the living room, and the patient was dead in the bathroom. What the fuck? Answered a 911 call from a dead woman because she didn't feel good. Man. Number 19. I responded to a man in his whitey-tighties standing on the yellow lines in the middle of the road. Arrived on scene to find this to be true. The reason he was in the middle of the road was to practice his karate moves on cars. Sweet. Get this man to Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Dispatch was even having a hard time keeping from laughing. But were his karate moves sweet? You know, that's the real question. And it's tighty whities. Stop calling them whitey tighties. You fucking foreigner. You fucking... Oh my god. Number 18. The emergency itself wasn't particularly strange. Vaginal bleeding during pregnancy. Nor was the call mine, but in training, I listened to a call that contained the following exchange. So she's bleeding now? Yep. Where is she bleeding from? From her bottom part. Which bottom part, sir? I need you to be specific. Her rectum. The front part. Her weight. What? Sir, is she bleeding from the rectum or from the front? God damn it, she's bleeding from her pussy hole. Oh. God damn it, she bleeding from that pussy hole. God damn it, God damn it, from the pussy hole. I'm sorry, from the pussy hole. Oh my god. As we roll up to number 17, nothing really jumps out at me as strangest. I can think of worst, scariest, dumbest, most infuriating, etc. Here are some good ones. People saying they lock themselves inside their car and try it. Nice. Getting ripped off by a hooker. So you're admitting to soliciting a prostitute. Someone stealing their things. Okay, by things they meant a safe full of weed. They stole my drugs. A mugger going around and hitting people in the neck with a taser, yelling, "Surprise, motherfucker," in a deep voice, and then taking their phones and wallets. Oh my god. Just so damn many 911 calls with people essentially calling and getting themselves arrested because they were in the wrong and not the person they called on. Idiot. Guy went jogging along the beach, came back to find his car gone. While driving him home after taking a report, we drove by it. He forgot where he parked. Brilliant. Try to let a guy off who was obviously up to some shady shit. Tell him and his girlfriend to just go rent a room and rethink their lives. They stole the cop's cell phone. He made a call for them because their phone was dead. Ended up having a fuck ton of meth in his car when we caught up to him later. Wow. Guy got into a fight with a bunch of ducks. If those were geese, this guy would have been fucked. If those were geese instead of ducks, this guy would have been so fucked. Okay? You would say, if he were to fight the goose, he might find himself in hangman noose. Or alternatively, the one who fights goose is the one who gets his goose cooked. Hi-yo, you guys like that one? Goose cooked? Bazinga! As we continue. Thinking about it, no way, a guy got into a fight with a bunch of ducks, started losing, tried jumping a fence, slipped and tore his nutsack open of the force. Oh, my god. Oh my god. Yo, nuts, dude. You ripped your nuts open fighting some ducks. You could say they had the last quack. Am I right, guys? Bazinga. As we roll up, number 16. Caller, a deer just swam across the river behind my house. Me, okay. Caller, well, I am worried it might be cold. Me, well, there is nothing we can do about a deer being cold. Didn't it run off after swimming the river? Yes, said the caller. Well, ma'am, it's a wild animal and I guess it's going to be fine. Caller, okay. Number 15. Number 1, ultra calm caller. Girlfriend is having a fit. Me, does she have any weapons? Him, just the eggs she's throwing at me. Me, what is she wearing? Him, underwear. Wait, what is she wearing? Is there something here that I don't understand? Stream, please help me out here. Number 1, ultra calm caller, girlfriend is having a fit. Me, does she have any weapons? Him, just the eggs that she's throwing at me. Me, what is she wearing? Him, underwear. Yeah, why the hell would the caller be asking what's she wearing? Dude. Number 2. I don't want to read any more from this weirdo. What the hell was that? Am I missing something? I must be missing something. Number 14, boy. We had a lady who called all the time about people in her yard or on her house, usually doing nasty things. It was always a false alarm. This lady had been calling since way before I got my job, and even now after I've switched agencies, she's probably still calling. She was mental, but not a danger to herself or others, so no real need to commit her involuntarily. Well, one day we get a call from her about a man at her house causing the troubles for her. My supervisor, who had answered the call, finally got fed up and asked to speak to the man. Let me speak to this man. To everyone's surprise, the woman handed the phone over to the man, and there was someone there. It was her brother, and he was there trying to get her committed. We ended up, I believe, asking him to leave the property because he couldn't have her committed against her will at that time. Just goes to show you the crazy doesn't always mean wrong. Nobody ever said it did. No one ever said it did. As we proceed to number 13, I heard this one the other day, not from the perspective of an operator, but close. EMS responds to a call where a man reported having multiple potatoes stuck up his rectum /colon. Multiple potatoes. Man. But Banal Vulgarian is completely right. He says dispatch tells the responding cops what the perp is wearing to help them identify people when they reach the scene. Very correct. It's just the fact that she was a woman that kind of made all of our minds just, go straight to a provocative type of, what is she wearing? Hopefully nothing type deal. Number 14. Wait, finish the potatoes one. Multiple potatoes stuck up his rectum. Not red potatoes. Those big brown suckers. The kicker? I was washing my potatoes in the shower when I slipped and fell, and all the potatoes went up there. Oh no, not that stack of potatoes. I tried to shift my ass, but it just helped them get in there because they were all so wet. Oh my God. I like to stack potatoes in the shower when I wash them off before I make a nice mash. I was working in my shower late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. When a stack of potatoes just sitting there had me lose my footing, and they crammed themselves up there. Right in your butt. Right in my potato butt. Right in your butt. Okay, let me continue. Right in my butt. Oh, it got up there so hard. Right in my butt. No one will believe me now. Ow. Number 12. Not 9/11. not 911. Excuse me. Okay. And not me, but my favorite related call exchange was posted by some fuck named Nurse Jacqueline. I'm a telephone triage nurse, so not 911, but a 24-hour hotline for people to call when they're having a medical problem but aren't sure if they need to go to the emergency room or not. I have a few of my favorite stories, but I'll share this one. A quite pregnant, don't remember exactly how far along, but definitely past 30 weeks woman calls to say that her doctor told her to refrain from having sex for the rest of the pregnancy, and she didn't understand why. I looked at her file and saw that she was having a preterm contraction or preterm contractions, so I explained that sexual activity can cause contractions, so it was safer to abstain so the baby could stay inside as long as possible. She tearfully exclaims, "But how will I feed the baby?" Oh my God. What? What? Whoa! Whoa! What? What you mean? What you mean? How I'm gonna feed the Did this lady think that cum? Did this woman think that ejaculate was what babies need to stay nourished? Let's continue. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's two things here. A, she was just that stupid. Or B, son, a man tricked her into believing this, son. Do you think a dude was like, come on, baby, we gotta fuck. That's how the baby gets its nourishment. That's how the baby stay. We gotta do it. We gotta just keep going.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yo. Michael Davis said, I wish I could have seen the look on your face. Oh, I was just broken. This whole list was me just going through them. And then we get to this. But she tearfully exclaims, but how will I feed the baby? Me, I'm sorry, ma'am. Could you repeat that? And the woman goes, how will I feed the baby if I can't have sex? The patient was concerned that her baby was living off of her boyfriend's semen and that it would starve if they stopped having sex. I explained about the umbilical cord, but she refused to believe me until I asked her about single moms, lesbian moms, etc., and asked how she thought their babies fed and grew. After a moment of silence, she thanked me and started to hang up the phone, but not before I heard her screaming her boyfriend's name. It was him. That genius of a man. That man had a good thing going there for a while. Oh my God. Oh my God. I found a gem here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to read this alone. Ooh, it's so juicy. Let's get through this list because I have to do that. I have to read that for blah, blah, blah. Number 11, apparently, my sister is an EMT in a small rural college town. Apparently, there have been more than one calls about horses collapsing and hurting their rider/handler. Broken arms, trapped under horses, shit like that. When she was new to it, someone just described it as a collapsed horse. And she thought that they were supposed to treat that horse's condition. Okay. Okay. Number 10. I got dispatched for neck pain. Dispatched. I got just dispatched for neck pain. I got dispatched for neck pain. Get there, find out a couple were having sex on a couch when the female heard a large pop in her head, followed by a splitting headache and nausea. We transport her, and after a CT scan, we find that she somehow developed a tear in her arachnoid meningeal tissue. Serious shit, but humorous and odd. Y'all need to fuck comfortably, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Wouldn't have happened if you were Kyle fucking. See what I'm saying? It wouldn't have happened. Banal Vulgarian said, a nut a day keeps the miscarriage away. Oh my God. As we go ahead and arrive at number 9, I've got one for you. The obligatory not 911, not 911, stop saying that. But it'll tie together. So I worked for an alarm monitoring company and I get an inbound call in the middle of the night from somewhere in Philadelphia. The guy on the line sounds really out of it. Drunk, maybe? My first thought was it was someone calling in to cancel a false alarm. Messed up voice was them waking from sleep, not uncommon. Some alarms start going off in my head and the guy isn't making a whole lot of sense, and it's really hard to get basic information out of him. Eventually, I pieced together that he's a gas station worker and he's been shot. For some reason, he dialed the alarm company instead of 911. We weren't even his alarm company. There was probably an old sticker in the shop somewhere, so I've got no info on this guy, and mind you, we don't have any magical reverse phone lookup system, and our systems are locked down, so we can't access a web browser. Genius, I know. I pulled out my phone, managed to look up a gas station with the inbound number in Philly, called 911, and got police and medical out there. No idea how it ultimately shook out. Stayed on the line, keeping the guy conscious and talking until they got there, then disconnected. Well, good on you, mate. Alexander said boned her so good he gave her brain damage. Well, I think the other guy boned the girl good as well in this gem. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Number 8, we got a call from a woman having severe abdominal pain. Simple enough. We asked the normal question, are you feeling all right? Are you vomiting blood? Stuff like that. Then we asked if it was a traumatic or not. Well, she eventually tells us that she had a tampon stuck inside of her for more than 20 days, and she thinks that might be why she's hurting. Bonus story. I heard someone else that had a funny story. This guy and his wife were playing around with various vegetables, and the guy gets a carrot lodged up his... I don't know if it's butt or cock, so let's hope it's butt and not cock. Please get butt in the carrot butt. That's better. Pee hole carrot bad. Butt carrot, you expected. Yeah. Pee hole carrot bad. Butt hole carrot, So they tried to remove it so they wouldn't have to call 911. She used a pair of burger tongs and grabbed something and pulled, but she was actually pulling at his intestines. Fun! If you get something stuck, call 911. I've heard it all before. I don't care that you have a vegetable garden in your rectum. I just want to get you help. The right kind of help. The right kind of help. Oh my God. Emmy keeps saying, how do you let that happen? Emmy's probably tired of hearing that story, huh? Tired of hearing the girls lost a tampon up their story? And then when it came out, the smell of it, Oh. Some girls are just, they play fast and loose with their life.
Oh, I guess it's time to take out my tampon. Oh, it's not in there. I guess I took it out already, even though I don't remember doing it. Whatever. I guess it'll work its way out. Whatever. I'll be using the bathroom one day. Maybe it'll just pop out. Just pop out like that.
There it is.
In the toilet water. You like that noise? The noise that it made? It was like,
Okay, look. Let's finish the list. Number 7. Not me, but my dad works in an emergency room, and one time he had to treat someone who had been attacked by an owl. The owl was unconscious on the side of the road, and she thought it was dead. Because she didn't want the children on the school bus to see the dead owl, she decided the best course of action would be to put the owl in back of her car. Unfortunately, the owl wasn't dead. It woke up and attacked her when owls attack. Number 6. 911, what's your emergency?
There's a pig in the road. A big one.
Sir, where are you?
At the stoplight. It's the biggest damn pig I've ever seen. Get someone here now.
How big is the pig?
About the size of a Volkswagen.
How much have you had to drink?
I'm not fucking drunk. It's a giant pig the size of a small car. What is wrong with you people?
Officer shows up to find a full-grown hippo that had escaped from a local wild animal park. A big fucking pig. Wait a minute. Now, guys. Maybe the times have changed. And you know what, with the internet being all over the place and titties being readily accessible to people, young kids don't have a reason to just get some printout book of animals and just look at all of them and shit. Maybe that's more for the autistic kids, to get really into like dinosaurs or, some kind of old school specific kind of animal that they're really crazy about. But a big pig, look how hilarious this guy is.
He's hilarious. Oh, it's a girl. It's Fiona. She's so cute.
Look at this guy. I'm turning this into a meme later. Just wait. I'm gonna turn this into a meme later. Yeah. That's a meme. That's a meme. Hippo now. Okay. Woo! As we roll up to number 5. My mom was a dispatcher for 20 plus years. The eeriest call she ever told me about was one that started off with no voice, only breathing. She kept asking yes or no questions, working out a system to guess what was going on. Eventually, he could talk a little bit and said the person who hurt him was still there. So the officers went in, guns drawn. He said the person was there, but hadn't specified that they were dead. Turns out the guy couldn't talk because his throat was sliced open, which he had done to himself to make it look like his wife, whom he had just murdered, had attacked him first. Oh, that just got better and better. Oh my God. Not in a good way. I mean, better like in a morbid, okay. Never mind. Holy bing bong. Oh my God. Number 4, obligatory not 911 operator. I'm the son of the caller. My dad called 911 late one night to report hitting a 6-foot-tall chicken while driving and running off into the ditch. He had just crashed his car and his voice was a bit shaky on the phone, so the operator asked him to repeat himself a couple of times and then promised to send someone to help. The first cop on the scene got out of his car with a breathalyzer in hand, and by the time he had got to the back of my dad's car, he was laughing hysterically over his radio, telling people that it wasn't a DUI call. My dad actually did hit a 6-foot-tall chicken. And that's the story about the night my dad and all the cops learned about emu farming. What is wrong with people? This is not a big chicken. This is not a big pig. Stripes fact. Women have a tiny urethra located above their vagina entrance. They do not pee out of their vaginal entrance. Stripes facts. I am not a chicken, he says. Meh, I'm not a chicken. Meh, I am not a chicken. Meh, meh, meh. I am not a chicken. Meh, meh, meh. Sorry, that's enough. You're an idiot. Get out of here. Get out. Finish this. Number 3. Lots of calls from elderly people hallucinating because of urinary tract infections. They will make people hallucinate? One woman had been following CPR instructions when the crew arrived. She was doing very gentle chest compressions on her slightly confused but very much alive cat. What? Somebody said, wait, UTIs can make you hallucinate? Mostly in older people. Weakened immune response and all that makes it worse. Oh my God. Somebody said my name. Faith says, Kyle, the owner of the company my mom works at, own an emu, a ostrich, a zebra, and a giraffe. Why? One exotic animal alone is bad enough. Like, you have to make sure that you're properly catering to it in a way that you probably can't even really do. The expense must be outrageous. Tell them to get a Kyle instead and pay for my room and board. Michael Schofield says, if your phone gets cloned, can whoever cloned it use the apps? Yeah, nigga, they can do a hell of a lot more than that. Why are you worried about that, Mike? You got your phone stolen? You better get this shit taken care of, homie. I'm not playing. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to number 2. Here we are. The very first emergency call I took by myself during training. I answered a 911 while my trainer was trying to grab a cup of coffee from the vending machine. And so As soon as the phone connected, there was what sounded like an explosion and people screaming all over the place. Scared the Jesus out of my trainer, who sprinted back to the desk, thinking I had just picked up some huge disaster of an accident, takes over the call and starts asking questions, and it turns out what we heard was just rushing water from a hot water heater that ruptured and was spewing all over these two girls' apartment, and they were freaking out, not knowing what to do about it. Bonus story. Had a similar call a few years later, picked up a bunch of people being loud, sounding panicked, talking about someone being locked in a car. Thought it was a child locked in a car, a very high priority call from my agency due to being in Florida and a few recent deaths. So I put the call in as urgent while trying to get anyone on the phone to actually talk. But then I hear a door open and someone in the background screams, "It's out! The chicken is out!" It's free. Florida. Oh my God. That's it, guys. I love you guys. I'm gonna dive back into Call of Duty, and I'm gonna do a text-to-speech stream so you guys can try not to get banned by not being overly obnoxious in the stream chat. Thank you to the patrons. You guys were probably here earlier today for that other list. I love you. Thank you to the sponsors. Look at you. You just make my mouth water there. All right, as we go up to number 1, not me, but my cousin. She had this lady who would call regularly and often make up stories, most likely due to loneliness, but they still had to send someone out there every time. So one day when they get a call from her, they figured it would be like the other calls. 911, what's your emergency? There's a lion in my living room. I'm so lonely. That's not funny, Kyle. Ooh, that's not funny. There's a lion in your living room. What's it doing? Her pauses to ask what it was doing. I don't know, just standing there. Can you send someone over? Turned out there really was a lion cub in her living room that had escaped from a circus or something nearby. Oh my God. Somebody said she's not lying anymore. Former Fox News anchor Trump tried to kiss me on the lips. I love her a bit. I want to kiss her on the lips. Police officer orders a man to crawl. The man crawls. The officer kills him.
Another mistake. There is a very severe possibility you're both going to get shot. Do you understand that? Yes. Yes. All right. What? This is shut up. I'm not here to be tactful or diplomatic with you. You listen. You obey. One thing, did I tell you to move, young man? Did I tell you to put both your hands on the top of your head and interlace your fingers? Take your feet and cross your left foot over your right foot. Who else is in the room? Nobody. Perfect. Okay, when you're done with that, lay her flat.
He gonna kill this nigga. This cop is gonna kill this boy. Oh my God. Cop killed the dude, man. Jesus Christ. That's a white boy too. You know what I mean? Can't hide behind you're just shooting the darkies anymore, man. Jesus Christ. What does Reddit have to say about this shit? Nobody gives a damn. As usual. God forbid we have some Black Panther ass motherfuckers rolling around these days. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. If you make a mistake, you might die. That's a fucking terrifying and not acceptable at all. This was murder. The guy cries out, "I'm sorry, please don't shoot me." That's a cop, dude. These are your people in uniform. Fuck these cops, man. That's the way that it goes, baby. Is, like I said, as terrible and unfortunate as it is for words like this to pass through my lips, it's not even a black guy like they normally fucking treat like dirt, dude. It's not one of your typical ethnics, not some Hispanic, Mexican, fucking, Islamic dude. This was a white boy, okay? And he was doing what he was told to do. And this nigga shot his ass after delivering the line, if you make a mistake, you might die. You know what I'm talking about? Some people live for this shit. You hear the way that he's talking? I hear people talk like that in matches of Call of Duty. Like they think they're the shit. Like people care about them outside of these corny ass video games. You know what I'm talking about? You walking around in real life with a gun, so you a big man. You know what I mean? These police, boy. And obviously, just because a lot of them are bad doesn't make all of them bad, but holy hell, this was a power trip, asshole. Freeze, motherfucker! Freeze! I'm a police officer! You wanna know what I'm gonna do to you? You think your life's cool? You think it's making sense? Freeze, bitch, freeze! I'm on a power trip. Oh. Riamonte says, what happened? It looks like they're in a hotel lobby. Who cares, man? They shot somebody that didn't deserve it. That's the bottom line there. That is the bottom line. This guy didn't have a weapon, you know what I mean? He wasn't reaching. This nigga was laying on the ground after telling this dude. He gave the dude pretty specific instruction. He said, lay on the ground. You know what I mean? The dude got on the ground. Put your hands on your head. The dude put his hands on his head. Interlock your fingers between each other. Dude did that. The dude, he was like, put your legs on your other legs. It's like he was trying to fuck with him because he knew he was drunk. He was obviously a little drunk. You know what I mean? And holy shit, he shot that motherfucker. Order officers. The officer orders a man to crawl, and the man crawls, and the officer kills him. This is why people getting guns in America, because people need to defend themselves against these nasty ass police. When the people who are supposed to be authority, who you call when things go bad, dude, when they out here just ooh. And we thought EA was bad, baby. What happened to Black People Twitter? God, I need to get out of this life. What a scary world we live in. Guys, like I said, I'm going to be jumping back into Call of Duty. Where everything's fun and makes sense. Somebody said, I just Googled net neutrality. Yeah, we got to keep that. Psh. Tweeting about it ain't going to save it. Stupid motherfuckers. My service director, a white man, just called an irate customer behind his back in front of me a nigger buffoon. Currently on my way to HR, like, oh my god. What's this? Some kind of pizza in a box. Oh, my fat ass thought this was a deep dish pizza. I thought it was too. It's just Dragon Balls. Somebody need to get me these again, because I lost most of them. Just kidding. I've never had one in my life. Now, Kyle, is that a reasonable thing for you to put on your wish list, Kyle? I'm dead serious. You could probably get so many other things that make more sense instead of some actual Dragon Balls. No, why did you write Dragon Ball Z? You should have wrote Dragon Balls, idiot. Okay, well, there you go. And then you scroll down, and there go to show. God damn it, dude. What if I typed in mini Dragon Balls? Oh my god, you're killing me. I don't want no fucking ornaments. Well, I've ruined it. Forget it. Well, guys, you know how to get a hold of me. I love you. I'm gonna dive back into Call of Duty, and if you want to be in that text to chat stream, then see you there. Love ya. Big Pig loves ya. Snapchat me if you guys need anything, which you don't. Oh, I should change this back, because I changed the $3 text to speech thing to that. Just make it snap. Kyle, capital C. Ah, yeah. Save them. Okay, make that smaller. Move that over there. All right, guys. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.